A journey to one Africa. Hello everybody, hello Africa, the world, and 2NACHEKI family. This is Mika Lucas Chavala, and I'm the founder of Swahili Nation One Africa Foundation. It is basically the foundation that its main goal and purpose is to have one Africa in our generation. Our vision, we say, towards one Africa of solidarity in peace and love. And our mission is to defend the image of Africa and to bring back all the heritage and to decolonize the mind through authentic knowledge and to create a bridge for oneness and a peaceful Africa. That's our mission. So every single thing that we do, we are focusing on doing that. I'm really glad to be here today, and I would love to invite everybody, if you really like to know more about what we are doing and to just see how we navigate this journey of achieving one Africa in our generation. Don't hesitate to visit us on another YouTube channel called Swahili Nation. You'll find there our contents and what we are trying to do. We have a lot of plans and a lot of visions, short-term vision and also long-term vision. And I think, as time goes by, we'll be able to find out that. But, some of them, for example, one of the this actually is exclusive to 2NACHEKI. You don't know this yet. That we just got our office. The very first office. Yes. We thank God for that. So from this Monday, I think this week we've been trying to prepare that place. It's humble beginning, and I love one scripture in the Bible says, "Do not despise the small beginnings." So we just started this small, but we're really glad that, we're going to be there doing our work, moving from home, where I am right now, to the office. And so I believe from that point forward, it will really help us to achieve those goals that we have in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, and other years to come in the near future.
That's great. So when you mean an office, you also mean a studio, a place for creating where you can have other creators come in and...
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Because, we have a foundation, and at the same time we are creating content. So basically we are playing all those kind of roles. So the place that we have right now, it will operate as a studio. It's just a single room, but we can just transform it to be as a studio, as well as the office whereby we can meet our people and, diaspora who are coming back home to Africa, maybe visiting here Tanzania. They'll be able to come there to their home, that will be their place, their home, and we'll be able to work together there. To just, see how we can, unite our continent.
That's great. So people in the chat are wondering why Swahili Nation. So how did that come about?
Yeah, I love that. I love that. So, when I was thinking about, especially, how should I call this? Because the vision of uniting Africa and doing these things, it has been in my heart for the past 10 years, but I started to do it effectively 4 years ago. So when I was trying to think, how should I call this? I remember first time I called I remember I called it Swahili channel or something like that. But then later on I realized that, I'm kind of managing, I'm limiting myself to reach out to the entire continent of Africa. So I was thinking, what kind of name should I call this new nation? Because I was thinking about having this new nation that it will include everybody, people in the continent and people from outside as well. At the time I was living in South Korea. So I was thinking, how should I call this? I thought about calling One Nation. I thought about calling it something else, but then, I'm from Tanzania, and this is kind of like Swahili land. So I was thinking that, okay, maybe I should include a little bit of my identity, which is I'm a Swahili person. I'm coming from the Swahili coast. I should call it Swahili. But the second name, I wanted to create a new nation. It's kind of like a new country, Swahili Nation. So that's why I call it Swahili Nation. And another reason why I had to name it Swahili, because I was thinking about what the founder founder of Tanzania, Julius Kambarage Nyerere, you know, he united Tanzania. Tanzania, we have like more than 121 different tribes and, you know, different languages. But he united all of these 121 different tribes and languages through one thing. I mean, one of the elements that called language, Swahili language. And since my mission is to unite Africa, so I was thinking, okay, maybe this, not maybe, this is sure, for sure, it's something that we can use to unite our people as well by promoting the single language. Yes, we have a lot of languages that we are using. We can learn those languages, but it's important to have a language that can identify us as a people, because this is our own language, right? It's African language. It's the comprises of different kind of language, both locally and also internationally. So that's why I named it Swahili Nation. So basically, the literal meaning of Swahili Nation is one Africa, is one nation. That's why I call it Swahili Nation, One Africa Foundation.
Scapegoat Media is saying also, and remember that Swahili Nation was a music group in Kenya. Remember, and that's also amazing.
Let me give you
right?
Exactly. So the funny thing is this. I'm gonna be very brutal honest with you guys. So when I was thinking about this name, I did not know that Swahili Nation Music Group exists. The day I came to find out that Swahili Nation Music Group exists, because I know this song like Hakuna Matata, but I never knew it because there's so many versions on the internet. So one day I went on the internet and I was like, okay, let me find if there's any other website of Swahili Nation when I was thinking about creating the website. So I went online and I typed Swahili Nation. The first Swahili Nation came, it was the music group from Kenya. I was like, oh my goodness, how come I did not know that there was Swahili Nation already exists a long time ago? So I think, you know, from that point, I was like, oh, this is our OG, you know, our people who were here. They already did amazing, you know, to represent the continent, you know. And I kind of felt like I'm doing basically the same thing. You know, it might not, and you know, I started to do reaction before doing what I'm doing right now. Right. So for them, they based in music, but right now we are reviving this, you know, Swahili Nation thing in all kind of spheres and reminding people that the meaning of Swahili Nation is more, you know, than just music, but, you know, we're talking about one nation, we're talking about one Africa. So I'm really proud that we have legends that, you know, they already had this name, you know, in the past, and kudos to them. Salute.
So one thing that people, the 2NACHEKI community, like when they're reaching out, the first thing they ask me is like, oh, how can I invest back in Africa? How can I move back in Africa? Then the second thing, they always ask me about Swahili. So many people, especially in the United States and in the UK, love Swahili. Some are learning Swahili. And so what's your thought on that? And what is the foundation doing on maybe enabling people to learn Swahili, because there's Swahili for Africa. One of our friends from Ethiopia who's following that path. So what is your idea of Swahili spreading to the diaspora as a language?
Yeah, actually, that's really beautiful. Actually, even ourselves, we are doing it. Me personally, for instance, I started to do it when I was in South Korea. I used to be a Swahili teacher at the embassy of Tanzania to South Korea. You know, and I met a lot of brothers from Kenya as well. They were doing the same thing, but I was officially there at the embassy teaching all these different people. I remember it was the time when even President Magufuli, kind of like South Africa, introduced Swahili to their curriculum. So I had the ambassador of South Africa to South Korea taking my class. I was teaching her Swahili, and some other Koreans who they wanted to come to Tanzania or to Africa to volunteer, or to Kenya as well. So I started back then, like 3-4 years ago. And even right now, as I'm saying, I'm having some of the students that I train them online. Like they're in South Korea and they are about to come here to Tanzania, maybe around, at the end of this year. So we kind of like have online classes and I am teaching them, from the beginning, to the end. So I believe for those diaspora who are interested in learning Swahili, I think Swahili classes are everywhere these days. Even in, US or all these countries, like even Korea, imagine even China.
I think it's officially, other than South Africa, it's officially in Namibia, in Botswana, it's actually being taught in classes, right? Like there's another country in Africa that also started teaching, but I've forgotten that. I think Namibia, Botswana, and South Africa in the SADC, right? You know, Tanzania is now part of SADC, right? Now I think they pushed that Swahili to be taught in schools.
Exactly.
Because you know, a language is very important when you learn while growing it, right? It's very hard to learn a language when you're an adult. So
absolutely. So for those, let's say you're diaspora and you like to learn Swahili, you would like to study Swahili like face to face, like this online, you know, you can reach out to us as well at oneafricaofficial@gmail.com, oneafricaofficial@gmail.com, and you'll be able to get teachers. You'll be, even me myself, you know, I'll try to squeeze my time, you know, and teach our people, because this is one of the ways that we spread, you know, our culture and our languages, but also is the way also we make a living out of, you know, doing that as well for ourselves and for the visions that we have for this beautiful continent of Africa.
Yeah, and you said it right. Like Swahili, like, you know, people always think Swahili is like a Kenyan language or a Tanzanian language or a East African language. No, Swahili is kind of like a multipolitan languages where it has many Bantu languages like Kikuyu, Chaga, like many Bantu languages plus Arabic. Plus a bit of some like it's just a melting pot of a language which will be perfect for Africa, right? So the bad thing with like Africa is that there's so many languages and like we've been split so many continents and regions, and right? So when somebody wants one language for Africa, the Nigerians are like, oh, we want our language. The Egyptians are like, oh, we want our language. The South Africans are, we will like our language. So the good thing with Swahili, it is nobody's language, right? It's a language that you grow up with people. So when you say you want Swahili, nobody can say, hey, Swahili is from this particular community or this particular tribe. It's just an even language that represents like all the four corners of Africa. Definitely the Bantu, the Nilotes, the Kushites, and like all regions. So that's why Swahili, I think, would be a perfect language for when Africa becomes united, right? Like a one united Africa, everybody speaking Swahili as a first language, and maybe now your other languages as a second language. Yeah,
that's that is the big battle that for a long time, you know, Tanzanians and Kenyans have been having, that, you know, talk about Swahili and everything. But you said something very interesting, because when we think about Africa, most of the time we, you know, exclude, you know, northern part of Africa, and we talk about sub-Saharan Africa. But Swahili, it could be used to actually even unite the entire continent, including North Africa as well, because 30% of Swahili comes from Arabic, like 30%.
And let me tell everybody a fact. There's no such thing as sub-Saharan Africa. Like that's like a made up. That's like maybe you're saying, oh, I come from Atlantis, or I come from like this Tatooine in Star Wars, or I come from a magical area. There's no, as in, if you look at the African map, there's no division. There's as in it's like saying you come from East North Africa and I come from East South Africa. As in, like, there's no such thing as Sub-Saharan Africa. And the reason they always use Sub-Saharan Africa, it's kind of like, you know, the old tricks of divide and conquer. Like, oh, like, let's separate the Muslims. We like with Africa. There's so many Muslims. Like I think Nigeria, except Egypt, right? Nigeria has more Muslims than than the whole of North Africa combined. So if you say, hey, we are dividing Africa based on the Muslims on the north, and like it doesn't make sense. Nigeria has more Muslims than majority like of you guys. So it definitely doesn't make sense. And think about, like, if you're a Fulani, right? How will it work? Like, you know, Fulani are nomads. Fulani are like Maasais. They like the beginning of the year they start in Chad. By the end of the year, they're in Algeria or they're in Morocco, or they go to Burkina Faso. So somebody like that, will, like when they said, "Where are you from?" I'm from Sub-Saharan, or no. As it just doesn't make sense for, like, even the terms. And have you ever noticed it's only Western media that uses the term Sub-Saharan Africa?
Absolutely, because it's their agenda.
Yeah, definitely. From
the first place, they always. Yeah, I'm sorry.
So I'm saying every time you hear Sub-Saharan Africa in the news, just take it with a grain of salt, whatever information is coming, because it, as you said, it has an agenda. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
So now let's go to maybe now the creation, because we're both creators on YouTube. Your channel has been growing very rapidly, and like we always love this movement of Pan-African channels. Like we would love, because like I always say this, it's cool. It was cool us reaching 1 million subscribers, but it will be cooler if there are 1 million Pan-African channels, right? Wow. They've been growing, right? Like there's so many these days. I think they're like 100 or so. But I would love to have 1 million African creators doing what we do. That will be like a dream come true. Because when that happens, there'll not be like, we will not give Western media a chance to tell our like our story, right? So you, like, as a creator now, we can start with, what are the challenges of being a YouTube creator, or like, because these days creator means TikTok, Instagram, even this new one, it's called Threads, right? So so you can tell me the challenges.
Wow, that's a good one. That's a good one. You know, first of all, I really love I mean, what you're doing and what you said, because you know, it's one thing to talk about things, but it's another thing to do it. You said here that you wish, you know, we'll have like more than 1 million Pan-African YouTube channels. And, you know, from what I know, you know, about you, my brother, it's not just something that you talk about it. You're doing it right now. Like right now, we're here as a Swahili Nation, you know, growing channel. And we're here being promoted by, you know, one of the biggest channels we have in Africa, you know. We don't have this kind of stuff. So first of all, I really want to appreciate that, you know, for your heart and for taking this chance to just, you know, promoting other, you know, creators. I think this is one of the challenges, the first challenges that we're facing as the content creators. Like I feel like we don't really have like the genuine, you know, collaborations and support as well. Just genuine like support. You know, sometimes we talk, you know, behind the scene, the issue sometimes we might face, you know, from like one content creators to another, you know, having all these, you know, strikes sometimes, you know, like I've actually received some of them, you know, very, very soon. It's like 1 week ago, I received like twice, 2 strikes, and I was at the blink of losing the channel. Imagine, like, channel was just blowing up, blossom. And, you know, I was going through all these, you know, videos, you know, that we upload. And I was just going, I was just reading the comments of, you know, the people, especially our brothers and sisters in the diaspora. And man, I was just crying. I even made a video. I did not expect to cry, but I made a video and I just could not stop myself from crying. And it's just a part 1. And I haven't done part 2 yet, because I am kind of like, you know, I don't want to cry again like that in the video. So I'm kind of like, I'm withholding myself from doing the second one, but I'll do it. So I think the first challenge is that we as Africans, we are not really supporting each other. Like, we as the content creators, I'm talking about us as a content creator. Sometimes we feel like, you know, if I come here, I'm going to steal all of your audience, that they're going to come here to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, we feel like that in our hearts. Sometimes we don't say, but we feel that, which is ridiculous. Like, if you have your fans and people who love you and love your content, they ain't gonna leave you. They're gonna be there with you forever. Like, even if I come here, or even another content creators come here, it doesn't really matter, right? So I feel because of that, like, I was supposed to lose, but thank God. You cannot imagine, my brother, what I had to go through. Like, this is what I had to go through. I had even to go through people who have been working in the, you know, kind of like state house here in Tanzania, to contact other people in another country that are working in the same place. I had to contact like 2 or 3 people, and they had to kind of like, you know, talk to these people that, hey guys, you know, this is the same mission and all the stuff, you know, but in all of these, we all do make mistakes. So myself, through that, I had to learn that, you know, next time I think I have to do this and this and this. And you remember, we talked about this. And also from the other side, I was just saying that, oh, you know, I really wish that, I mean, these guys that are doing the same work I'm doing, I really wish, you know, they do understand this. And I really wish that, you know, nothing like this will ever happen to anybody. Because when you invest so much time, you invest everything you have, even a little capital money that you had, you invest everything in this thing. And then in just a single day, you might lose everything. You know, that's pretty scary. So I think that's the first big challenge that we are facing: collaborations. And I thank you for stepping out and being here to actually. It's no longer a challenge, but you're actually solving it. You know that, okay, this is the way we're supposed to. This is how we're supposed to help one another. Because if we support one another as a content creators, I believe we can reach out to the entire continent and even people who are outside. Because your followers are your followers, my followers are my followers, and we have some followers that we we share. Like sometimes I'm looking at the audience and it shows me that these people from 2NACHEKI, they're watching your videos. It shows us in analytics, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And I see that, oh, so these guys, they both follow like 2NACHEKI, they follow Swahili Nation, they follow this guy, and because they see there's a test in 2NACHEKI, they see there's a test in Swahili Nation, and they're not the same. And because of that, we can actually grow stronger and have that 1 million Pan-African, subscribers. That's the first thing. The second thing I would say, and I'll be brutal honest as well, because we've always tried to be brutal honest. I think the second thing is the finance part. I think this is one of the things that every content creators, they're facing in one way or another. I think still the awareness and the support it's not yet there. Like it's not yet there. Like you don't see as much as support you see maybe in other. For example, there's these guys that I always watch them. They're doing like soccer reactions, right? There's guys that I've been watching them all day. When you look at their live stream and they're doing their stream there, man, like if you see the support and the dollars and the euros are just dropping out there, man, I'm looking at, sometimes I just stayed, I was like, oh, this is 10,000, oh, this is 20, like within a single hour. Like the support is real, right? And these guys, they're able to actually do it in a huge dimension, right? So for us, Africa, I think we need to support, our people and our content creators, whatever you can, even if it's just $5 or $1. It's very important because you have no idea how much it supports those content creators. We have seen a lot of time people with dreams, people with vision, they're just telling them out because some other rich people, they just come and they'll be like, hey, we want to buy this and we want to do this, and they sell their vision, whatever they have, not because they don't believe in their vision, but because of the finance. Because of that, because we don't do any other thing apart from what we are doing. Like this is what we're doing 24/7, and people, they see you, my brother 2NACHEKI here, but you have a team behind you. You have a team who depend on you. You have bills that you have to pay. You have a studio. You have all this stuff that you need to to pay every single month. And how are you going to do it just by just depending on maybe the viewers or the income that is coming from the viewers? So I think, it's a time we have a lot of people, like a lot of people here, if you ask how many people they have subscription in Hulu TV or Netflix, all this stuff, you find a lot of people, but why don't you do the same thing to 2NACHEKI here? Like sign up as a member, like every single month you give $2.99. Just that. Imagine you have 1 million subscribers. Imagine if you had only 500,000 subscribers who they sign membership for just $2.99. Every single month that will run channel that will be able to help and to support a lot of people back there, and you'll be able to do what you're doing right now, even in a higher dimension, because most of us, I know you say this before, but for us, we planned this like even a year ago. Like we have a vision to have a media, SNN, Swahili Nation Network, in 5 years. We want it to be like a really great, and we've already wrote even a proposal. We have everything written down because we don't want to operating from YouTube, but we want people to turn on DSTV and to see SNN there, Swahili Nation Network. We want to be that. And if that will take to have like 2NACHEKI TV, SNN, and you have other, TVs out there, Pan-African TVs, that's what we need to bring this message and to connect our people. Because we see Western media, how much they push their agenda to divide Africa. They push their agenda to change this beautiful culture we have. And how are we going to respond back to them? Are we going to respond back to them through YouTube channel? Well, we are doing pretty good damn job right now with our YouTube channels. But imagine if we have TVs. How can we have that? We can have that if we have financial support from you guys who are enjoying our content and watching them. So please, if you're listening to this voice right now, go to membership at Swahili Nation, go to membership at 2NACHEKI, sign up as a member there. We have a Patreon, all right? Go to Patreon in our channel, go to Patreon, and go and support, because this is what helps us. There's a lot of costs behind the scene, people they don't know. Let me just say a few of them. For example, for us, we have we're using music background. Those music background, we buy them monthly because we don't want to get a copyright. We're using this one. Okay, I don't want to promote them here. Anyway, so we're buying from them, right? Every single month. Okay, we have Africa, internet is very expensive. So we had to take the best internet, the best internet that is really expensive. Every single month you have to pay for that. You have the issues of electricity. You have the issue of people who are working. You have an issue with, all this content creation. Sometimes, you need, for me, I didn't tell you, I had how I removed those copyright strikes from my fellow African content creators. I had to pay them. I had to send money. My brother, I didn't have the money, but I had to borrow. Let me just say, I had to borrow. For one video, I was told to pay $200 for one video. And I had to borrow because I didn't have to go in to pay. So these are challenges that you can face, because I was not willing to lose my channel just because of a single video, right? So there's so many other costs that some of them, I think even 2NACHEKI can share, that we need support. And sometimes when you see there's something it's not going right, because sometimes you just stuck and you don't know what to do. But because of you guys, and because of your support, because of your viewership, subscription, membership, patronship, sharing, and likes our videos, you guys are helping us. You will help us to even do it in a higher dimension than what we're doing right now. Let me stop there for only these two challenges. I'm talking too much, my brother.
No. That's why you're here. So to hear you give your experience. So let me give the chat a good example of what he's saying, right? So as we started YouTube in 2016, right? Then the thing with YouTube, and the reason why we need to also have our own platform is that they can just come up with their own rules, and they've got their own reason, their own platform. You can't come to somebody's house and start asking for things, they invite you, you behave, right? Yeah. I think there's in 2017 2NACHEKI got demonetized, right? Because YouTube changed some rule. So and the only reason we survived till today in 2023 is our members. So you can imagine, for almost 1 year, it was our PayPal donations, our Patreons, and our members who supported the whole channel, right? And it wasn't something small. So you you can imagine how much you depend on the monthly ad revenue, right? And then now to make it even worse. So when we also got now remonetized, right? It was, you remember there's a time there was a YouTube ad apocalypse where advertisers refused to advertise in YouTube. So immediately we are monetized. Now the advertisers are boycotting YouTube, and there's still no money. You're not even getting 5% of what you used to get, right? So if it wasn't for people, diehard Pan-Africanists who used to support us on Patreon, every month, it will be impossible for a media company to support the people it's employing, and also keep making content, as you said, buy stock footage, buy music, pay editors, pay marketers, so it is just our community. And that's why I also want to reward the people who've been with us since the beginning. So as I said, we're working on our own platform, 2NACHEKI.tv, right? So we will make sure in that website, if you've ever donated to 2NACHEKI, if you ever become if you have ever been a member, if you've ever given us a PayPal donation, even $1, you'd get free access, lifetime access to our website, right? It will be subscription based. But if you've ever supported 2NACHEKI before, even if it was $1, you get lifetime free access to 2NACHEKI.tv. As long as it exists, you'll always be able to see exclusive movies, exclusive content, exclusive live stream. Just because you helped us when we were in need, right? Now that we are doing okay, we'll be okay, hey, thank you so much for helping us out. Here you go, forever, right? So that is how we are rewarding everybody who helped us reach where we are right now. right?
I love that. I love that. Let me add just this one thing, and also why it is so important to support through other platform. For example, Patreon. We talk a lot about Patreon. Patreon.com. If you write patreon.com/Mika Chavala, you'll be able to support me as well. We're using this because I was talking to you, brother, earlier this week that the policies of YouTube here in Africa and most of the countries here in Africa is that, for example, here in Tanzania, all the viewership from the US and all the income that is coming from there, they take 30% of your income every single month. Guys, 30%. And the reason why is because Tanzania, they don't have tax treat or agreements with the US. And because of that, the tax you pay to them, it's a lot. It's like 30%. So if you get like $1,000 in a month, they take 30% out. And you can imagine how much you have there, right? At the end of.
And also in your country, you must pay taxes, which I think Tanzania is around 33%. So you're being double taxed.
Exactly. So imagine that 1,000, you remain with nothing, literally. And I told you all the costs that I told you before. So if you support us in platform like, Patreon, at least they take very little. I think they take like 5% or even less than that sometimes, and that it helps a lot. It helps a lot because, you get that income. For example, for me, I can literally withdraw direct from there and then it go to another platform. It comes direct to, to our bank account, and you can be able to, to do other things, instantly, like anytime, as long as you reach like $50 in Patreon. So that's another way that you guys can support by knowing that, this money, they don't just come all of it. There's a cost that we always need to pay here and there. Right. So if you guys are willing to be committed, just $2 a month or $3 a month, you have no idea how much it supports. I know one of our plans and our vision us here at Swahili Nation is to go to all 54 different countries, to go there, to meet up, to go to universities, because we want to interlink all these, top universities. We started here, we went to Ethiopia, we want to go to other schools as well. Other countries as well, to interlink all these universities from here in that country and that country, bring this message, because we believe when you reach out to university students, soon there will be CEOs, soon they'll be hired somewhere. So if they have that message of Africanness, of oneness, and they step out there, we believe that if you change one leader, that leader is going to change a lot of followers that are, behind them or in front of them or, anyhow. Right. So that's one of the vision. And who is going to sponsor us? We don't want to write the proposal to UN or to all those organizations that, oh guys, we want you to support. No. We as Africans, we need to support each other. You guys can actually send us across all the continent of Africa. I cannot believe I haven't even been to Kenya there to see my brother 2NACHEKI. But you guys support us, all right? We'll be able to go there and we'll be able to produce even better content than what you're seeing right now. I've seen some people, really kind of like, complaining that, oh, why don't you do this kind of content? Why don't you do that kind of content? All this stuff, they cost a lot when it comes to content creations. And without your support, we won't be able to do it. So we depend on you. And we want you guys, and we ask you guys to support us. Yeah.
And also, support doesn't always just mean money. Like for me, like the best support sometimes is sharing and liking a video. You really don't know how far that one goes, especially for the liking. All right. So let me teach you guys about YouTube. Right. So long ago, when YouTube started, it used to work with views. Right. So the more views you have, like you can have a 10-minute video, people just watch 30 seconds. But if people keep watching that 30 seconds, you can have 10 million views, right? That's how YouTube used to work. So Netflix came along and YouTube started competing with Netflix. So now YouTube, instead of views, has changed to watch time. Right. So now the important thing before, like a few years ago, it was watch time. YouTube wanted now to compete with Netflix. So the longer you watch a video, the better it does. Right. And then now TikTok came along. Right. And now, YouTube always wants to be on top. So it's also competing. Right. So TikTok came along. Now YouTube changed its algorithm. So they changed it to, and this one I got it from my YouTube manager. It's not something I'm just making up. Right. So the thing is, when you reach 1 million subscribers, YouTube gives you like a personal manager where he help you, and they give you some, secrets of, how to keep on going.
That's possible, my brother. Those are new things for me. Yeah.
So what we were told since the beginning of YouTube has changed its algorithm 4 times, right? So this recent one, what's important for YouTube, what YouTube wants from you is interaction, right? Because they want the liking, they want the thumbs up, they want the sharing, they want the commenting. That shows YouTube now wants to become a social media to compete with TikTok. That's why they have shorts, right? Yeah. That's why they want to compete with Twitch. Twitch is for live streaming. That's why it has the live streaming platform and the gaming platform. They want to compete with Netflix. That's why these days they prefer longer videos than the old shorter videos, right?
Yeah.
So as I say, these days the most important thing you can do as somebody to support a YouTube channel is you be active, right? Most people are the sneaky one. You go to a video, like you think on your own, you're like, hey, that's a good video. Sometimes it just helps to write in the comment, even if you have nothing to add, just say thanks for the video. That really helps push a video up, right? So if you, for you guys who don't know, it really helps. So like you can donate $1, but if you comment on 10 of our videos, that those comments can get us even $100.
Absolutely.
It adds up. It adds up, right?
Yeah.
So that's a secret for anybody who are wanting to join YouTube and anybody who wants to support a YouTube channel. Be interactive, chat with people, start arguments, coil arguments, educate people, right? Because at the end of the day, we want to educate people about more like Africa. We want to tell our own story, right? So even if you have a better story, come on, say it in the comments, right? Add it in the chat. Like it really goes a long way. And always repeat, like it really goes a long way, right?
Absolutely.
So now that we're talking about technology and how YouTube works, right? I'd like to hear your opinion on AI, right? AI is this year. Everything started with the AI. People are worried it's going to take their jobs. People are using it to make money. There's always the first people who are using it. So for you as a creator, what do you think of AI, and how are you planning on implementing it in your day-to-day activities?
Yeah. Oh, my brother, right now we actually, at the middle of talking with some people in my team. This is very exclusive, but we are working on something, behind the scene, because we see that the world is really changing, and I feel like there's no way that we're going to stop this progress that is happening. Like there's no way that we're going to stop. The only thing that we can do us as Africans is to prepare ourselves well enough to adapt to that and to be able to face whatever challenges that we're going to face. Yes, we might lose a lot of jobs, but also we can create a lot of jobs through the same thing, AI, right? And I feel like that's what even the president of Rwanda has been trying to do, really. I mean, in Rwanda specifically, and even Ethiopia, like really focusing on technology and promote that sector of AI, because we believe that is the future. Actually, that's the present right now. It's not even a future. So for us as a Swahili nation, we're working on something. We are actually developing something, like a certain company that, it might be like, it will be based just with technology and all this AI stuff. We are still in the every stage of developing it, and it's a little bit of challenge because someone that I'm working with is not here in Tanzania, is in another country. So hopefully next year, we are praying that he will come and join us in the team as well. So that as well as cost, so that we may be together in the same room and work every single day to make sure that we make it come to pass. So I think this is the time, and there might be people out there who are really well educated in technology and all this AI stuff. You guys can participate as well. Some of you at diaspora want to move back to Africa, and you have these ideas of companies, you have these ideas of how you want to move things here in Africa because you have seen the other side of the world and you understand how things move. You guys can come and be part of it. Those places, those spots are there for you guys. If you're coming here and you want to be part of this team, Swahili Nation One Africa, and you want to contribute in that way, you guys can come actually and be part of that, and we can develop it together. Because I don't know everything. I studied economics. I'm an economist, but I want to have everybody. I want to have AI people. I want to have historian people. I want to have all these journalists and all these other people. So if you guys are there and are gifted at that, and you want to, you know, support to develop something in a, you guys, you're welcome. You're all welcome. I hope, like, one of the plans we have is, I said before, like, to have a media, but, you know, we want to have application, like Swahili Nation application, you know, where people eventually they can actually learn even Swahili like that, or access our content, you know, through the application. You know, you have a site, you have app as well, where we can monetize, you know, and even that it will generate a lot of money, you know, to what we are doing as well. Yeah, so all those stuff, you know, it really help us, you know, in our fights and in what we are doing.
Yeah, that's a good take. So the good thing for me, I'm also really focusing on AI is because we don't want to be left behind again, right? The internet kind of equalized us a bit, right? Like, you know, in the 90s, Africa was so behind. Like, I think 99% of everything we used to hear about Africa used to come from the West, right? There were very few people doing what we are doing right now, but because the availability of the internet and technology, it's kind of equalized the world. Now we have, at least it's a fair fight, right? If you're fighting BBCs and the CNNs, right, it's a fair fight. It's up to our hard work, right? So if they say something, we can easily counter them, and it's up to our hard work on how much we counter. So with AI now, it's our turn to try to leapfrog them, right? You know, right? So think about it, like Swahili Nation or 2NACHEKI. Once we start integrating AI into our organizations, it will be easier because, you know, we are a small team, we are flexible compared to like BBC. If you people don't know, BBC, I think employs 6,000 people, right? So can you imagine if a huge company like that starts implementing AI? Like it will take years. It will take maybe 2 to 5 years before, but for us, we can, you know, we can get inside, start taking advantage of this new technology and frog them, right? So for me, that's why I'm saying AI is very important. And here's an advice to everybody watching who is afraid of AI. So like people, there's always this fear that AI will take your jobs, right? So this is the truth. AI will not take your jobs, but you know who will take your jobs? People who know to use AI. Right, so it's simple as that. Like AI won't take your job, but somebody who knows how to use AI will take your job. So there's this person who uses AI for marketing. You're a marketer. You don't know how to use AI. What will a company hire? Somebody who can use this tool to get them what they do tenfolds, or just one person. Right? You know, of course, they'll use the person who knows how to use AI. So when it comes to AI, educate yourself. Try to be caught up with what's trending, and and just like learn to use it. You know, it's like reading and writing, right? Like it didn't start with everybody knowing how to read and write. It was just a select few, but those people got so much benefit from it, right? So before everybody knows how to use AI, right? Before they start teaching AI in nursery school, right? Now this is the time for you to take advantage, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. I love that.
So let's answer a few of questions. I've been bookmarking some questions for Mika, and you can add others as we go through these other ones. Okay. So first, I think this is a question on Swahili. Mika, you can say it. Just read it.
Okay. The second. Did Swahili start in the late 1960s or early 1970s, some 50 years ago? This man looks too young to be the creator of Swahili. Yeah, man. You know the history of Africa. I mean, the Swahili language. I don't want to go through it because it's, you know, you can actually just, you know, go on Wikipedia and right there you'll find out. But you know, everything started with you know, a while ago. When, you know, these Arabs came to actually Africa with all this, you know, trading and everything. So you'll be able to actually, you know, see how it started. But one of the very interesting things that I'll always, you know, share is that, you know, looking at the combination of all these, you know, different languages. You know, you have even English, French, German, you know, Bantu languages, you know, Arabic in Swahili. It's a combination of these one, you know, it's like, I don't know how to call, you know, I don't know, in Kenya, do you have a food that you actually mix everything?
Yeah.
What was the name of that?
like I think maybe maybe Mkorogo. I don't know. Like for me,
Mkorogo. Yeah, we can use that. We can use, so Swahili is like Mkorogo. You know, oh, it's like salad that it has everything in it. You know, you put even mango there. You put pineapples. You put olive oil. You put everything in there. That's that's Swahili. That's really beautiful. I did not create Swahili. But I created Swahili Nation, and apparently it was there even before I created it. So I guess we're just developing what was already there, because there's nothing new under the sun, right? What we're doing right now, probably it was done a long time ago. Probably I was doing this in heaven, before I came here on earth. Anyways, but I'm just duplicating it here on earth as well. Yeah.
So also on Swahili, like how the East African coast, the development of those cultures has so much intrigue. You guys always hear about like, I don't know, the knights and medievals of Europe, in these movies, King Arthur. Like, what if I tell you, like, the Swahili culture and the East African coast had more drama than even Game of Thrones? Like the kingdoms, like from Zanzibar to the Somali coast, going down till Mozambique, like all those, the Kenyan Mombasa coast, all those were like different kingdoms and different cultures, and they interacted, they fought, they traded. I'm telling you, like, if somebody ever does a show on just the East African coast during the 1400s, 1200s, 1500s, before even any European even set foot, right? Like, it will be such an intriguing story. Like, even a good example, like, do you know the Chinese came to the Swahili coast around the 11th century, right? So there's this myth. Like I think they came for trading, right? Like, I think in the 11th century they traded some ports. Even if you look at some they're called what these things. If you look at some, like, these old things they find, there's some Chinese pottery and stuff, right? So some traded, some stayed. The languages mixed, they blended in, right? So with the Arabs, like so many cultures, right? People from the interior. Like, Swahili is so rich. The area, the East Africa area, those islands, Zanzibar, Pemba, like Mombasa, like so much drama. Yeah, like wish somebody will do a proper documentary on that culture, like before the Portuguese, before these British people, before any of these colonizers came, right?
Let me tell you something about that. I met this one amazing African American. I didn't meet her, but we met through through the platform like this. Her name is really beautiful. Her name is Zikora Nachidi. She had to name herself with an African name, and one of the things that she does, she's studying actually about that African history. And we already talked. We talked last year that I think she'll be visiting Tanzania. She was supposed to visit here on May, I believe, but I guess she'll be visiting later in the future. And we wanted, one of the things that we plan to do is to go to Zanzibar to actually do this documentary, because she's also a storyteller. She does this storytelling. So we're like, okay, I think you'll be the perfect person that we could work together. We're going to these places, we film all this stuff, and then you do all this storytelling of all these beautiful places that we have. So I went to Zanzibar in January till February. I went there for like 20 times just within 2 months. And then, a couple weeks ago, I had to go to Kilwa, because that's another place that is really, really crucial for the history of East Africa. Kilwa, that's where even slave trade, those slaves, our people, were brought there and then transferred them to Oman and some other parts of the earth, across the world. So yeah, I think those documentaries you're talking about, one day we'll be able to do in the future. Finger crossed. You guys keep praying for us and keep supporting us. I believe they will come, and we'll be able to release them through our platform. That would be really good.
The next one is, do you think Africa will have its own news hub soon?
I believe, yes. For example, I shared, I don't want to talk about Africa in general, but I want to talk about me, because I think the only person that I know better than anyone else is myself. So I said at the beginning that, you know, I think even right now we're doing pretty good job. For example, 2NACHEKI, kudos to you guys for the news that you guys are doing through the platform of YouTube that is not really ours. But, you know, every time when I want to, you know, get to know something, I always just go to 2NACHEKI and I'm looking at this 3-minute video of the news that you guys are producing, right? So I believe we're doing that job. But the News Hub, it's very important for us. We have that vision to have the media in 5 years, you know, right now, basically 4 years from now. And we've been working and trying to write it up down. And one of the guy that we're working together is actually a journalist. He just graduated, and that the guy that we have been talking about this, that, hey man, I think you will be in charge of this, and we are trying to develop, you know, one step at a time. So we kind of like have everything settled down, and, you know, we believe that we can do that, you know, in this couple of years. So yeah, everything is possible. Like, everything is possible, and as long as you have a vision and you're working day and night to make it, you know, possible, you know, it's going to happen. Today we're here on YouTube. Tomorrow you'll be watching us from, you know, your DSTV, maybe not even DSTV. You'll be watching us from our own kind of DSTV, you know. We'll invent all those kind of platforms, and you guys will have our own Kingamuzi and watch us straight from there, you know.
And the funny thing about this question, it's who's asking. So I'm assuming this is not the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, but last year, I think early this year, Abiy Ahmed announced that they're working on African Union 24-hour news website. And some people from the African Union contacted me when they were doing the consultancy on how it would work, right? They want to become a news agency. News agencies are like Reuters and Ruptly, where they provide content for now reporters. They go, they've got their own team. Like for them, they don't report on the news. They just provide their videos. Then now media houses buy or work in collaboration with them, right? So African Union is working on an African-based 24-hour media news channel, right? And when that one becomes a reality, it would really help us out, right? Instead of waiting to hear what this Western media news think about Africa, we can just be, you know, telling our own story 100%. Right?
Absolutely. We need as many news hubs as we can. You know, we need as many as we can to push our agendas and to push everything. If one thing comes, all of us, we push together, you know, content creators and our news media, we push just like them, how they do that. Man, I'm telling you, Africa is the new superpower. You know what I'm saying? And we just need that. We need media to back up our messages. The reason we don't have media, so we don't really back our message, and it's just vanishing. I've been really surprised, because I'm going right now, I'm digging all these speeches, you know, for example, Yoweri Museveni of Kenya, of Uganda, and all these other presidents of Africa. And man, like the things that they were talking about like 10 years ago and all this stuff, man, I'm like, wow, why I did not get to hear this? And that's the reason why I'm sharing all this old stuff these days, because I believe once we have news like that, man, like our people, our kids, when we are not here, man, 2NACHEKI, when we're in heaven, we have already done our work here on earth, and we're just resting there looking at our sons and grandsons that are doing pretty good job here on earth, you know, with the news media and just showing our messages and showing our videos like this, re-showing them again that, oh, this used to be my grandpa and all those stuff. It'll be really cool. So yeah, it's soon it'll be here.
Okay, so let's go to the next question. I think this one is for you. So
yeah, it's Swahili Nation, a Christian-oriented channel. Okay, I need to go deeper to this because I know, you know, I've received a lot of that. So allow me to say this, that for me, you know, when I got this vision, I say this 10 years ago, it's not something that came from nowhere. You know, for me, I'm a Christian. You know, I'll say that I'm a God-feeling, I'm a believer, right? And you know, I love God to that extent. And that's when I got this vision, you know, long time ago, I said 10 years ago, when I was just going to South Korea, and it was really convicted. Imagine, you know, I had this vision 10 years ago, but I had to start doing it like 4 years ago. So it took me a long, very long time to start this vision. But when even, going backward, but the story started when I was just a little kid. It started long time ago when I was a little kid, and I don't want to talk about that, but it's very long, long stuff. So what would I say? One thing that I told myself is that if God, you called me to do this, to unite my people, to unite Africa, then I'll always keep you first. I'll always show everybody who comes to Swahili Nation, I want them to see you before they see me. That's why I always pray before I begin, and I pray when I end, because I don't want to keep God out of the picture. I think the biggest mistake that we do is when we separate these two things, because in reality, everything begins in a spirit. Everything is there, and I don't want to bring religion, because when you say Christianity, it's a Christian-based channel, you already mentioned the religion. So it's not about religion. It's not about Christianity or Christian-based channel, but it's about the faith and the belief. Christianity is a religion. Islam is a religion. Buddhism is a religion. But me, as a person, I'm a believer. So it's far way beyond of just a religion, right? Because religion is what divide people, is what separate people. And that's not what I promote. What I promote is God, that we as African, we are God-fearing people. We should always keep God first. And I believe in this fight of one Africa and the redemption of this continent, it will never happen if we take God out of the picture. If we take God out of the picture, basically we don't have moral. Because all the morality we see, all the laws we see in our countries, they're actually scripture-based. They come from there. Do not steal. Do not rape. Do not do this. No, all this stuff. They are there. And not only in Christian books, but even other religious books. Religion is God-made thing to find God, right? Even you yourself, you can invent your own religion today to find God. You can do that. That's how they did. But the faith, all of us were created with that hunger and desire to seek God and to have that relationship with higher power than yourself, right? So that is what you find when you come to Swahili Nation. And that's what I want people to experience when they come there. That it's not just about, Pan-Africanism. It's not just about this one Africa, but there's something beyond that. Why I am fighting for what I'm fighting? Because I have hope. I have hope in a higher power than me. I have hope in God, the Almighty God. And that's what I want people to experience whenever they come there. You cannot really have love, peace, and unity if you don't have God. That's what I believe. And I want people to hear that. And I want people to see that. Yeah. So I believe I answered your question.
Yeah, that's a great answer. Thank you, Mimi Roberts, for the $5 donation. As we talked about, this really goes a long way.
Something in action. Come on, we love you, Mimi Roberts.
Yeah. So let's see another question. This one is for you.
2NACHEKI and Mika, do you plan to collaborate with news agencies of your countries or other African countries, or with each other on YouTube in light of expanding your reach? All right. So let me go first. One of the challenges, I don't know about Kenya, but here in Tanzania, one of the challenges we're facing is YouTube. Okay. So the YouTube media that is really doing well here in this country is entertainment and gossip
and comedy.
Exactly, and comedy. Those they do.
That's in Kenya. Yeah. Skits, funny thing, pranks.
Exactly. And you see a lot of people that are supporting us, they're actually diaspora, most of them, because they know what it means to want unity for Africa, because they see the other side of the world, and these are the descendants of our forefathers who were taken long time ago as slaves to their country. So they have that desire of returning home and uniting our people and just awakening our people so that we may change this continent. But my people here, to be honest, most of them, they're not interested in what I do. That's why when you look at the top 5 countries that are supporting me, my country's not there. Because they're not interested in listening One Africa. Yeah, they're not interested. The matter of fact, the first country is Kenya right now.
Wow.
The first country is Kenya, my brother. And then the second one you have US, and then you have Uganda, and then you have you have South Africa, and then you have UK, and then you have Uganda. Those are 5 countries. The first 5 countries. Yeah, my country is like number 6 there. Thank God it's coming up. Yeah, so a lot of them, they're just interested in watching, like, you know, musicians, you know. Exactly. 99.5% they're just interested in gossip. What today Diamond did, what today this person did, what today, but they're not interested in hearing this message what we're saying. So because of that, it's really, it's even hard. We're not even recognized by the streams, you know, by the mainstreams, because our channels, they're not focusing on that. They're focusing on something else. When I was doing reaction, I got a lot of attention because I was doing reaction to their songs, to the music. So it was kind of and all the stuff. But when I saw that, I realized that no, this was not my calling, because I was drawing attention in the entertainment side of it, and I wanted to draw attention in something else, you know, to create the new trend. I always say that we Swahili Nation, we don't follow a trend. We are the new trend. We're going to create a new trend, and in a few years from now, people will be madly, insanely, crazy in love with what we're doing with Africanism because of what we're initiating here today. So that is kind of like the challenge that we're having here in the country. And another one as well, we are not really fans of, I mean, how can I say this? So when you do what we are doing, like standing for Africanism, for the unity, you know, speaking when the evil is happening, speaking against it. When something is not going right, to speak against it, then we're not really loved by even the government sometimes, you know, because we are on the side of people, right? So when something is going wrong, we say, no, this is not right. And so we're not really fan of them. I mean, they're not fan of us. And, you know, but our people, they are the one that people, ordinary folk who are experiencing all these issues all the time, who wants to see. So all these 2 challenges, it becomes very difficult to actually, you know, even collaborate with them, because we're not even there. So the best thing you can do is to be like 2NACHEKI, like work your butt off until you reach like 1 million subscribers, 2 million subscribers, then they will have your attention. Yeah, they will get your attention. You know, right now, I'm even, you know, I applaud you, my brother. The African Union, they reached out to you. Why? Because they see your platform, they see what you've done, and they were like, okay, if we want to Toboa, if you want to break out, we need to find these guys, right? So you guys can help us by actually subscribing. I was looking at the analytics, my brother. I will ask you the same question. In my channel, more than 90% of people who are watching my content, I don't know why I keep talking about content. My content, they did not subscribe.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah,
more than 90% of the viewer, they didn't. Imagine.
So for us, like when we were starting off, it was like that, right? Then we realized the solution to that was very simple. Like, just tell them, ask people to subscribe, and they will subscribe. So for us right now, I think 65% of people subscribe, right? Yeah. Our watchers subscribe, right? Like our unique. So maybe we get like a month we get like about maybe 7 million views, right? Yeah. Returning views is always more than half, right? Like which we really love. Like unique views is maybe like 2 million. Returning views is more like maybe the 5 million, and which we love. And then there's something that I love, like I've loved from 2NACHEKI, how we started. When we started 2NACHEKI, as you said, we talk about more serious things, educational things. You know, people want to listen to Diamond and dance and Burna Boy, right? There's nothing wrong with that, right? But when we were starting 2NACHEKI, our demographic was between 60 and 70. You know, people who love the news anyway, right? People who care about Africa anyway, you know, all our parents, right? But as we are continuing, right? 2 years back, the demographic was more of my age, between like 35 and 40, right? That was majority. But right now, in 2023, I can say majority of people who watch 2NACHEKI are younger than me, right? And that's the most important thing, because it means more young Africans are waking up to the world that we're living in, right? Like they just don't want to listen to the music videos. They want to know, hey, what went on in South Africa this week? What went on in Egypt? What went on in Nigeria? Like, and that's the most important thing. The younger that interest age comes, because, you know, Africa is the youngest continent, right? By 2020, I think by 2030, we would be more than 2 billion, right?
Yeah.
In this and we will be the youngest continent, with about 70% of that 2 billion being less than 30 years old. So it's very important for you to focus on the demographic of getting younger and younger people being more interested in you. And for the solution for maybe having 10% people subscribe to your channel, just ask them in every video, make sure before the video starts, subscribe. In the middle, subscribe, because people will do it. If you ask somebody nicely, they'd actually do it. That's the thing we realized, right? So as if you ever notice, we always put the subscribe. I always thank people, thank them for the time they give us, because the time is their money. The time is like valuable, right? Absolutely. That's a solution. Over time, try to reach younger audiences and just ask people to subscribe, and they will.
Actually, what you're saying is so right. I think that's one of the things that I was not doing. I was not really asking people to subscribe, but I started I think I started like 2 weeks ago, and I saw it's changing. Like even right now when I'm saying like 90%, and this is big potential, like 91.5%, they didn't subscribe. People who are watching, only 8.5% they are subscribers. But 2 weeks ago, it was not even that, right? That means the potential is real. And this is here all the time when I look at it. I'm like, oh, people, they love watching my videos, but why they're not subscribing, right? But I think that that is the thing. Like we need to constantly ask people to do that, subscribe. Because they do it when you ask. Before I was believing that I don't need really to ask. I mean, if you like my content, you're gonna go ahead and subscribe.
And now I gotta change. One thing we noticed: some people don't think it's important to subscribe, or it's not that they don't want; they just don't know it helps out a creator, right? So you can't blame somebody for something they don't know. So if you just tell them, "Hey, subscribe," they would, right? Because it's little effort. They just it's a button, So before we continue, African Youth Diaspora Organization, AYDO, thank you so much for the $2 donation. Always goes a long way. And
appreciate that.
And Tori Tabo, I think I've
come on now.
Thank you for the $5 super chat.
Now we're talking.
Really helps us out.
Now we're talking. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about.
And Marriott, thank you. Marriott has started with us since the beginning, and we've been talking for 1 hour. Thank you so much for the €6, and it's €6. €6 donation. Thank you so much.
Let me shout out to her because she is part of our team, Marit. So thank you for being here and for support. Yeah, she's in my team. Marit,
coming to support Mika.
All the way from Netherlands. So sending love to you. Yeah. So
I think we agreed on 1 hour, right? So I should respect your time. So let's see. Is there any other burning question? There was one question I wanted us to talk about.
Yeah. No worries.
Okay, so maybe you can try to answer on Brian's question.
Tunacheki, some of us do not have the equipment to start a channel, but we love researching and reading deeply about African history. Do you have a platform that helps with the research? That's for you, Tunacheki.
Yeah. So for me, first of all, I'll disagree with you, because the only equipment you need for starting a YouTube channel is your face. That's not even a majority. Your voice, a smartphone. You're using a smartphone to watch us and to comment, right? So you have all the equipment you need, right? And you've got all the knowledge you have. So create your channel, just talk on the camera, just be honest, be authentic. Tell people what you think, right? There's no wrong idea. Tell people what you think, and people will react to you the way you based on your ideas, and you can improve, or you can try to be better. So that's the only thing you need. Your smartphone. Majority of people watching us have smartphones, right? You can use a smartphone, just talk. That's the only thing. And then another tool we use to research news. For us, we usually love Ground News. It's this website where it's like a news website, but it's just not any other news website. It tells you like it tells you details about who wrote the story. It says, hey, this story is written by Reuters. Reuters is owned by this family, which is the 6th richest family in the world. There are a bunch of billionaires. Or this is written by Fox. Fox News is owned by Richard, like this Murdoch, who's like a billionaire, right? So it's this website that if there's a story about Africa, first of all, you know who wrote it, right? Then they tell you why did they write it. Is it does it have an agenda, right? So you guys just check out Ground News. Groundnews.com. It really helps because most people just read the news. You read the news, you believe what you read. This one, it gives you the grain of salt and tells you, hey, these people who tend to write this news are a bit on the racist side, so necessarily don't believe what they write, right? These people over here, they've got an agenda, right? So if they tell you, oh, GMOs are okay, like they have an agenda, right? Maybe Monsanto, the largest GMO producer, owns 90% of this media news agencies. So you can have information like that with the Ground News, right? And if you go to BBC, you'll get news. You don't know why they're writing it, right? It always has some, agenda. But with Ground News, if you read the same article in Ground News, it will tell you. And this is a tip because you've talked that you want to also start your news channel, right? And this is how to know what to cover. Because if you just read if you go to news, you just see the news. Everybody's writing news, right? But if you take that same news, you sit in Ground News, right? And it will tell you who wrote it, why did they write it, who else is writing it, and the other people who are writing it, how are they covering it? Are they for it? Are they against it, right? Like a good example with like Uganda and their homosexuality bill, right? They'll tell you who's writing this. This website is a Christian website. That's why they're against this. This website is a leftist website. That's why they are for it. And it's always good to have that perspective when you're reading news. Most people think journalists, because you're a journalist, that makes you a good person or makes you a professional, right? No. That one is actually in the contrary, right? Successful journalists are the ones who know to play the game, right? They're the ones who give the employers what they want, right? Because a billionaire does not hire you to have your own opinion, right? A billionaire hires you to say what they want you to say, right? So that's very, very important. So the best answer for that, to make the answer short, Ground News. Also for you, Mika, check out Ground News. Start getting your information from there, because it's just not information, it's information with details, right? And that's very important. Right? You have to know where these things come from. You have to know the agenda. You have to know what they're aiming for. And this tool, like even when I call it a news website, it's more of an analytical tool. It works the same way with your YouTube analytics, right? How you can go in your analytics and know who's watching, right? As you said, you mentioned Kenya, you mentioned what, right? And that information helps you grow, right? Helps you become a better YouTuber. So same way, that one will really help you a lot. Absolutely. So we are almost finishing, right? So I'll give you a chance to tell people where they can reach you on YouTube, on TikTok. Just plug in everywhere you are, your website. So here's your chance.
Absolutely. Yes, guys. So, you can go to YouTube and you can find us, Swahili Nation. That's the channel right there. And my name is Mika Chavala. As I said, area, you can find me there everywhere. We haven't really started to use other platforms with Swahili Nation except Instagram. If you go on Instagram, Swahili Nation, you find us there. Twitter, Swahili Nation, you find us there. TikTok, you can just write Mika Chavala. I'm everywhere. And YouTube, Swahili Nation. But very soon we're coming with all those other social medias. We already have channels there, but we're gonna start operating and sharing everything for you guys to be able to access it. And if you want to support us financially, you can go on Patreon. If you're at patreon.com/Mika Chavala, you'll be able to find us there. And basically that's where you can find us. And keep supporting us. Subscribe, like. It's very important. Like and you subscribe. It's very important. And sharing here and there. It is very important. And even YouTube, it always gives us a report that, this video has been, here. It gives that report. So it's always really fascinating seeing that. And also I appreciate Tunacheki for this chance and this time. You know, I don't take it for granted. I value your work, and I appreciate that every time when I have any question about YouTube, I always reach out to you, and you're always there on time, actually, to support, to connect me with this and that. You're always there to support me. I don't know how old are you, but you're acting like a big brother to me. So I just love you, man, and I love, you know, Tunacheki and what you guys are doing, and I love this collaboration that we have. I can't wait to see you very soon, and to just do something together, you know, face to face.
Definitely. And like we'll finish it up with some careless question. So in Tunacheki, when we started, I think even when we had I think 20,000 subscribers, we were always open to collaborating and working with like other YouTubers. So we've got this platform called Friends of Tunacheki, where we just promote YouTubers for no cost at all. We've never charged anything to promote a channel. It's just your effort to reach out, send us a good email, summary of what your channel is about, a thumbnail, and a video we want to promote. You know, make things easier for us. We'll do it for you. So some channels we started with when they're little subscribers. It's Dr. Bumi's channel, right? She's this African historian. She's a professor. Well learned, like very articulate. So her channel even this month reached 100,000 subscribers, right?
Wow. Wow.
So just growing. We welcome everybody. Always support. Like we've always wanted to support like growing channels. As I said, our goal and people always think our goal for starting Tunacheki was to reach 1 million subscribers. I think we reached that one by mistake. Our goal is to have 1 million YouTubers doing what we do.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is our goal. Definitely, that's our goal. So the more we are, the much easier and much better our end goal becomes, right? Yeah.
Legend in the making. You know, you just reminded me something here. To the check, I know what you're trying to do here. This guy is the legend, guys. He's the legend, like, you know, like the Facebook guy. Anyways, this is another thing that we also try to do. It just reminded me that if you are a content creator and you have your content that you already created or you are creating related to Africa, you know, we have done that in our channels, like sharing some other people content. If you're out there and you really want a platform to just share, don't hesitate to reach out to us as well. 1africaofficial@gmail.com. Reach out to us. We'll review your content. We'll see, you know, as long as it's quality and the audio as well, we'll be able to share. Because even when we open Swahili Nation, it's not just a one-person thing, but we want to be able to share all these content, you know, about Africa. So if you want to be part of that and you just want to share this content that you create by yourself and you want that platform, that could be a better way to share your content, and as well for people to recognize and to know, you know, who you are and what you do, and even later on to follow whatever work you're doing in whatever platform. We have done that. We have been doing that in the past, and yeah, you know, it's an open door to everybody. And I like, because, you know, we have the same spirit in that that sense. Because the very first conversation I had with you, Tunacheki, it was, you know, back in the days, you know, when I was trying to have, you know, this conversation with and we talk about a lot of stuff. And
definitely,
I think we need to bring, you know, our content creators together. You know, we need to have some sort of meet and all those stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need this. Yeah, we need that. We need that, brother.
Thank you for taking your time to watch us, and make sure to go to right now. All Tunacheki subscribers who are not subscribed to Swahili Nation, make sure to go to his channel. We'll leave it in the comments below. Please make sure to go to Swahili Nation, subscribe, give him a like, and join the community. So thank you for joining us. This has been Mekimushi from Tunacheki, and always remember, Africa is watching.
Oh yeah. Bye.